Hey everyone, it's Rob, and today I'm going to be bringing you through why calories in versus calories out should never matter for fat loss. And I got a Miro board up and going for you here. So, at the core, calories in versus calories out, and why it should really never matter in fat loss. It's just a flawed system. And before anyone goes ahead and says it in the comments, I do believe in thermodynamics. I do believe in that. So it's not a matter of fact that, thermodynamics doesn't exist here, but the body is a open energy system. So calories in, calories out, it kind of assumes that the body is burning absolutely everything that is put into place here. So at the top here, there's always a promise with calories in versus calories out. And that's the main issue. If you're in a calorie deficit, everyone thinks that you're going to be burning fat. So you just sounds simple. You just do eat less and move more. And that's really never the best kind of option here because obesity is still rising despite more tracking, dieting, and exercising. So if everyone really knew this, do we think that society is just ignorant enough to eat themselves into all these diseases and metabolic diseases that we're getting? If it really worked, why isn't everyone just losing weight? But this is true and it's not working because the body's not a calculator and it's driven by hormones like insulin, cortisol, thyroid, leptin, ghrelin. All these hormones have a broader range and broader impact, bigger impact than you think. Because if insulin is consistently high, fat storage mode is going to be on always. And then if cortisol is high, you're going to have a lot of fat gain around your abdomen because you're not eating enough or you're completely stressed out. And then if you don't have adequate thyroid hormone, T3 and T4, your metabolism basically is shut off. Because if your body can't turn the T4 into T3, which is the active thyroid hormone, and there's a blockage within that system where you're not getting adequate carbohydrates or you're not getting enough saturated fat, and this is shut off, your metabolism is going to be basically turned off and you're going to be storing fat. You're going to be tired. Your hands are going to be cold all the time. Your skin's going to be terrible. Your hair's going to be thinning. And all you're going to want to do is basically just sleep all day. And then leptin and ghrelin, basically your hunger and, the not hungry hormone. Like that's basically, for lack of a better term, like if you're hungry, you're going to want to eat. If you're not hungry, you're not going to want to eat. And that is basically leptin and ghrelin. But all this is determined by hormones, stress, sleep, and your metabolism adapts and changes. So on a daily basis, I mean, I can eat 3,500 calories today, and then tomorrow I would need maybe 4,500 calories. Maybe I'm working out more. Maybe I didn't sleep as well. Maybe I'm a little bit sick. So your body always needs more calories based on what you're doing, your activity level, and how it's basically adapting to the environment around it. And this brings me into my next point here, where not all calories are created equal. And that's 100% true. The normal fitness industry nowadays, they basically think that, it's all energy balance. So if it fits your macros, 100 calories of steak equals 100 calories of soda or Pop Tarts or cereal. And this is not true. This is all going to affect your hormones differently. Steak is not going to spike your insulin as much as soda. And that insulin spike is going to create a whirlwind of effects in your body. I mean, if your insulin stays high for hours on end, it's a really bad issue. And that means you're not metabolically healthy. But if your insulin's going up and it's coming down a couple hours later, everything's normal. But what I'm getting at is there's different metabolic effects within every food that you eat. So to say that all calories are created equal is crazy. And calories do measure energy, they just don't measure the food quality. So, yes, calories are a good measure of how much energy am I getting from this food? You need energy to function. So, to give your body less energy to function, at the same level, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have energy to go for walks, to go to the gym, to think properly. It's just not going to happen. And the calories just don't tell you if the food's going to support or damage your health. So the soda here in this situation is going to damage your health when the steak is going to support your hormones with saturated fat. It's going to make you full. It's not going to spike your insulin, and you're going to get a lot better health effects than that soda. And most people think that fat gain is just simply overeating. It's not. Yes, we have a processed food issue, which leads to overeating. Yes, 5,000 calories of processed food is not good for you. No one is saying that, and I'm certainly not saying that. But 5,000 calories of steak, rice, fruit juices, vegetables, that's not going to make you fat. And you're probably not even going to be able to eat 5,000 calories of that because you will get sick before you can even consume that much. And fat gain is just your body not using the energy well. That's all it is. It's not turning the food that you're putting into your mouth into energy. It's storing it instead of burning it. And this is called mitochondrial dysfunction. It's when your metabolism is not turning the food into fuel. So your cells can't produce the energy properly. And like I said, this is mitochondrial dysfunction, and it cannot produce, your mitochondria cannot produce ATP properly. So it's simply just in fat storage mode 24/7 because it doesn't have enough energy to function in the first place. So what it's going to do is it's going to store everything because it's basically in famine mode. Your body knows is a smart organism. It's evolved over millions and millions of years. So it knows what to do when there is a famine. So when there's less energy coming in, it's automatically going to store it because it's anticipating a rainy day later on, and it's anticipating this famine for a long time. It doesn't know that you're in a calorie deficit. Calorie deficits just did not exist other than famines or starvation. So restriction is always going to backfire here. So your body adapts when you eat less. That's a fact. And then your hunger is going to increase, your energy is going to drop, cravings are going to spike. And this is where you see a lot of people, they do so well during the week with their calorie deficits, and they get to the weekend and they binge because they had a stressful week. So the Ben and Jerry's ice cream, the chips, the soda, the candy bars, that's the best part of the week because they're getting all the sugar from it. They're getting all the calories that they can because they were starving themselves all week. And everyone says to me when they work with me, my body's just craving sugar. Well, your body loves sugar, pure sugar, sugar from juice, sugar from fruit, sugar from carbohydrates, because that's the main energy source is glucose. Everything breaks down to glucose for your body to use. So yes, your body is craving sugar, but it doesn't know the difference between when everyone hears sugar, they're like, oh, Ben and Jerry's ice cream, the donut, the candy, but fruit or sugar from honey, pure maple syrup, fruit, things of that sort, your body's going to thrive off of that. And you should be giving it as much as you can because it's the energy that it needs to function on a daily basis. But when you're restricting that, it's going to crave all the other things that are around you. And you're just going to dive into as much as you can because, your willpower is, you need the food. So you can't just, your willpower is not strong enough. It's not that your willpower is not strong enough. It's that your body is trying to survive in any means possible. So your metabolism is going to slow when you're restricting. And then when you actually do binge, it's going to store all that food. So this is where you see the yo-yo diets and a lot of fitness influencers online. They keep these people in these deficits for so long and or extended periods of time and months on end. And your metabolism slows to these new caloric intakes that you're giving it. And it essentially just breaks down, and then you binge, you gain all the fat back, plus more most times. But this is where it comes in, processed versus whole foods. Processed food is poison. Mic drop. It's poison. Whole foods are food. They've existed for millions of years, and we've adapted on whole foods. Your body knows what to do with those foods. So your processed foods are going to disrupt hunger signals. This is why you see, you know, morbidly obese people eating 6,000 calories of processed or fried foods on a daily basis. All those chemicals are going to disrupt what you have in your body, and your body doesn't recognize it. All that stuff goes into your bloodstream. Your body is sending all these signals that it's in danger. So it sends signals to take all the poison out of your bloodstream and put it into fat storage. Your fat stores on your body is nothing but a protective mechanism for your body. That's it. In famine, in starvation, and in times where processed poison is going into your body and it needs to take it out of the bloodstream and put it in fat stores. That's all it is. So if you start treating your body like it's a survival mechanism, like it's a triage system, like it's just protecting you, you should be thanking it that it's actually storing fat for you. So these processed foods, they cause overeating. So you're consistently sending a hunger signal or a signal to your body that you're putting poison in it. So it's going to just store the processed food as fat. But whole foods regulate the appetite naturally just due to nutrient density. And then protein and the nutrients help regulate your hunger signals. And I always say that the approach that I have and a couple of other people online of nourishing your body is always the better approach. It's always the better approach because you're working with your biology. You're working with your body of saying, I'm going to show you a safety signal. I'm going to show you that there's going to be food here all the time. No matter when you're hungry, I'm going to give you the food it needs. Fat loss should always result from better health. So if you're eating whole foods all the time, you're going to become a healthier individual. And over time, fat loss is just going to happen as a byproduct of being a healthy individual. I always say to clients and the people that I work with is you cannot restrict yourself to better health. And I think it's really interesting here because the fitness industry wants you to just restrict yourself for a extended period of time. No matter how long it takes, you're going to restrict yourself until you lose the fat. And then, okay, but what happens when you restrict yourself and you get down to the goal weight of yours of, restriction? Well, you need to stay there, or what? Or you gain all the fat back. Like that's the ultimatum. You either stay there or you gain all the fat back if you want to eat more. And it leads you to this, restriction, yo-yo diet, and you binge and you go over your calories and you gain it all back. So the better approach here is just asking your body, why isn't my body, or asking yourself, why isn't my body using the energy properly? How do I not eat less, but give my body the amount of calories that it needs? And how can I make this process of turning this food into ATP as efficiently as possible? That is the underlying premise of what I'm teaching and what I'm giving people, because yes, I'm not going to bring them into all the biological or biochemical processes and the biological processes. They're probably not as interested as I am in them, but I've researched this extensively. I've read multiple things. I've done my research. Your body is not a calculator. It's a system of biochemical and biological processes. So it's not about how do I eat less. It's about how can I get my body to use the energy that I'm putting in as efficiently as possible. But you can do this, and it's very simple. It's just eating whole foods, what has existed in nature for millions of years. Your body knows what to do with these things. And it's as simple as that. So you're getting enough protein, getting enough carbohydrates, you're getting enough fat, saturated fat, cut out the seed oils, stop eating seed oils, stop eating processed foods altogether. Please, please, please listen to me on this. Your body is going to feel better. Just do it for 30 days. Stop drinking, stop smoking, stop all the vices, stop eating processed foods just for 30 days. Cook all your own meals, or if you go out to restaurants, tell them, I just want to have food that is cooked in either pure butter or no oils or coconut oil, anything but olive oil and seed oils. I say olive oil because a lot of the olive oil, if it's not pure from Italy or a good source, it's usually cut with seed oils. So I just stay away from olive oil completely unless I'm going to Italy or Spain where there's good sources of olive oil. And you need to focus on your circadian rhythm. Watch the sun rise, watch the sun set. You're going to sleep a lot better. People say, "Oh, I can't sleep." Well, you're on blue light all day. You're scrolling before you go to bed. Blue light stimulates that it's time to wake up for yourself. All this artificial stuff around us, it's not good for us. Watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, wake up with the sunrise, go to bed with the sunset. That's it. Try and lower your stress. I mean, yes, I understand that work gets in the way, life gets in the way, bills get in the way. There's a lot of stuff that, it's easier said than done to lower stress, but eating adequate protein, carbs, and fats is going to help regulate that stress. This is why I always say that nutrition and weight loss and fat loss and metabolic health is always a holistic approach because there's stress to be regulated. There's, dialing in your sleep. Then there's the nutrition aspect. Then there's not the overtraining aspect, but the training right amount. There's so many different things to this that is just simplified online to calories in versus calories out. And then that's it. Energy balance. No, 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 no. There's the emotional side. There's the physical side, everything. There's so much to unpack here. And that's why I'm making this long form content because I can't put it on Instagram. And I want to give you guys everything that I can. And sunlight, 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 sunlight. I can't tell you enough of this because think about it. Everyone says that sunlight causes skin cancer. And in the 1930s, when the sunscreen whole thing was introduced, skin cancer rates skyrocketed. And before that, there was like little to no skin cancer cases that were brought up in the US and in the world. And it's really important that we highlight this here because sun gives light to everything on this earth. If the sun is shining into your house and you have a bunch of windows and you have a dog or a cat, watch what they do in the summertime or in the winter. They will go towards the sun. There's like memes online where dogs are laying in the rays of sun that are coming through the windows. And it's funny, but they love the sun. Plants thrive in the sun. Every organism thrives in the sun. And I always tell my clients this. If you want to grow a plant or you want to grow flowers, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to give it enough sunlight, as much sunlight as possible for, that specific species until it burns or to make sure it doesn't burn. You're going to give it enough water. Sometimes you may put some plant food in there, which is found in good soil, but you're going to nourish it and you want it to grow. You want it to multiply. You want it to have seeds. You want it to drop on the floor. You want it to, grow more of that flower or the plant. So the point I'm getting at is if you want something to grow, you need to take care of it. You need to love it and you need to nourish it. So think of yourself as a plant. Get sunlight, wake up with the sun, go to bed with the sun, sleep good, get good food and good water. I mean, it's the same thing as a plant. You just need to nourish yourself as a plant. I mean, it's a silly like synonym, I guess, or example, but it's true. You need to think of yourself as a plant. Take care of yourself as a plant. And then walk 10 to 15 minutes after every meal. So you want to teach your body to use the fuel instead of store it. So I've seen, an impact in my life that I just walk after every meal and it helps with digestion. It helps with my body regulating my blood sugar and it helps with my clients. I mean, they've done this just walking 10 to 15 minutes and they've been losing a ton of fat. And it's as simple as that. Just walking that much will bring you around like 2 or 3 miles a day, depending on how fast that you walk. Strength train. You need to be working out in the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Lift some weights, grow some muscle. That's all it takes because the more muscle you have on your body, the faster your metabolism is going to be, the more food that you can eat to sustain, a good, strong structure. And all these are going to support the metabolism in the end of the day. But the core truth at, the center of everything, your body's not broken. It's simply adapting. And the answer isn't more restriction here. It's always better health. And how can I teach my body to use the food that I'm putting in properly? And that's why calories in versus calories out is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that goes down to it in your hormones, your light environment, your stress, your sleep. If, a mother of 3 wants to lose weight because she's neglected herself for so long, and she goes online to find, a fitness influencer that is promising 10 to 15 pounds in the first 3 months, but she's already stressed to the max. She has 3 kids to take care of, she has a job, she has a husband, she's doing most of the things around the house. I'm just saying this for an example. The last thing you want to do is to decrease her calories because, yes, she's already busy in the first place. So when is she going to have time to get her fasted cardio in the morning or do her cardio at night or go to the gym 6 or 7 times a week? These online programs are very extensive. Yes, mine is, what I teach people is very, straightforward, and you can lose weight without exercising or lose fat without exercising. It's very simple because you're just feeding your body what it needs all the time. And getting back to my example, if you tell a stressed mother of 3 with a husband and a job to just eat less calories, she's going to be even more stressed, and you're putting her into more metabolic debt. And you need to get her out of this stress state. Her cortisol is very high. She probably doesn't sleep very well at night. And you need to fix the root cause, which is just her body is in a stress state. How do you get your body out of a stress state? You feed it more. You nourish it. You give it sunlight. You give it the food that it needs. You just need to eat more whole, natural foods that are single ingredient, and your life will change. Do it for 30 days. I encourage everyone I run into: steak, fruit, rice, eggs, butter for 30 days. That's it, just for 30 days. You can add honey in there, just a little maple syrup. 30 days, your life is going to change. Get rid of your vices, the drinking, the smoking, whatever you may have that is your vice, and your life is going to change for the better. But I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to try and upload on here at least once a day to try and give you guys some more content. I know I've been a little bit slacking with the YouTube, but from here on out, I'm going to try and do at least one video a day to get some information out to you. And I'm going to do a full day of eating on here soon, and then kind of like a little vlog just to show you guys what I do on a daily basis. And yeah, so if you guys already haven't, please subscribe, like, and follow along. You can reach me at Rob Unedited on Instagram. If you have any questions, just DM me. It will be me. I'll answer any of the questions that you have. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the next YouTube video. Take care.